It says we're live, Shannon.
Hey, we are
Hey.
live. I see that. That's great.
Yeah, same.
First two people just rolled in. Perfect. Could be you and I.
It might be.
No, now we
Oh.
got three. Okay, great. Make it your.
Hey, everybody.
This week. All right. Cool. All right. I'm going to go mention it on my page. There we go.
Okay.
Profile. I think it's already there. but
Anybody
I'm
who's watching, let us know if my level and Shannon's level match. I have reason to suspect we might not, but
Your
I also-
sound. Yeah. It sounds the same to me, but
It's
who
hard
knows what
for
it
you
sounds
to
out there.
know. It's hard for me to know. It's hard for either one of us to know whether
Yeah.
we are in balance
Ah, I see. That
because we
makes
don't
sense.
get to hear ourselves from StreamYard or any of these
Yes.
things, right?
Yes.
That's the issue. Is we can only know visually, and I know that something has changed visually here,
Got it.
and I don't know why that is.
That's odd. And who are our sponsors this week? I hate to ask you that.
Oh,
Ben.
it's Vanta.
Oh, Vanta. Thank you to
Yeah.
Vanta. What's their handle? Do you know? At Vanta?
Let me find out. Hang on.
Trust Vanta?
Vanta.com/brain is the link.
Nice.
And I am looking here to
Let's
see if
see.
they
They have
have
their
an X
thing.
account.
Oh, yeah. It's the donkey, right? Or whatever it is. Scroll all the way down. It was covered by that chat thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, close that.
Yeah, I see the little
Or a
donkey
llama. Llama. Is that a
there.
llama?
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. It's Trust Vanta.
Trust Vanta. Thank you.
For
Okay, great.
sponsoring Business Brain. Nice. This week.
I'm surprised it's not just at the bottom. Oh, there it is. X.
You got it?
You're right.
Oh, there we
Trust
go.
Vanta. You're 100% right.
Perfect.
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you, Vanta. My son-in-law is doing some stuff with Vanta, which I thought
Oh,
was
that's
kind of
amazing.
cool. Yeah, it's
That's
great that
cool.
I can.
Yeah.
He mentioned that, and I was like, "This," because they've sponsored the show before,
Yes.
and we were having a discussion. He said Vanta, and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to drop this bomb right on him. Look way
Yeah.
cooler than their father-in-law, typical father-in-law." It's like, "Oh, Vanta sponsors our podcast."
Yeah, that's
At the
right.
time,
Yeah.
I wasn't sure what they did, but now I know because I've listened to
Yeah.
the show. That's awesome. So we have some great topics today. We're going to record 2 episodes if you're just joining us now. And I'm ready to go anytime you are.
I am also ready to go.
It's
Okay.
not easy for people to comment. If you know, like if you click.
X. Well,
Yeah.
it's
maybe
not
X.
easy for people to comment who are watching on X. I also firmly believe that no one is actually very, very, very few
Few.
people are actually watching on X.
Yeah.
We
yeah.
just get drive-bys because
I
when
got it. Yeah.
like when Matt
I think
Geek
you're right.
records, like we are flooded with comments.
I see.
Here in StreamYard. Yeah,
In
but
StreamYard,
not from
that-
X.
Not from X. They come into
No,
your
it's
Discord
from-
server or from Facebook or.
We get Facebook and YouTube comments.
Oh,
and
YouTube's
Randy is
gonna
here,
be
so
huge.
Randy is proving that there is
Randy!
someone. Hey, what's up, Randy?
Nice. That's awesome.
And Randy came from X. But yeah,
Yep.
when we record Matt Geek, the numbers show that we have more people watching on X than every other platform combined.
Got it.
However, I don't think that's actually true. I think the numbers on X are just this cumulative thing of people that have driven by, and Pranoia also is here.
That's
so thank
awesome.
you.
Thanks.
And of course, like this is great that there are 2 of you watching. I'm glad that I'm saying this so I can be proven wrong. But
Well,
yeah, with
it shows
MT
104 watching, so
that's the thing. Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Right. Yeah. No, I realize that I'm not actually being proven wrong, but I appreciate being proven wrong.
Yeah, that's good.
But yeah, they come from both YouTube comments and Facebook
see.
comments. But then, yeah, our Discord is where 90%
get a
of the
lot.
comments come from.
That's
Yeah.
great.
And I can't link Discord to this, which is too bad because
That is
would be
too
kinda
bad.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool. All right. Are you
Well,
ready
thank you,
to?
Randy and
Yeah,
Pranoia.
thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Good
Sweet.
to know.
All right.
Awesome.
I am ready to rock here. if
I
you're
am ready
to
as
rock.
well. Yeah.
Let's pretend like we know what we're
What we're
doing.
Little pre-show warm up.
Are you doing your pre-show warm-up?
Yeah, just getting ready.
Okay. Yep. Great. Then let's do it. Oh, I hear noise from you.
Oh, it's my fan. Let me turn it off.
I can. Okay. I was just gonna dial it out.
Oh, go
That's
ahead. If
fine.
you can dial it out, it's better. It's kind of chilly in
Maybe?
California.
I can hang on. Yeah. Okay. Now.
You got it?
Well,
I can turn it off. It's no big deal.
no, it's fine. I just need a moment of quiet and then it goes away. So, okay, here goes nothing. Business Brain, episode 608 for Wednesday, December 18th. Answer the telephone like Buddy the Elf Day. What's your favorite color? 2024. Greetings, folks, and welcome to Business Brain, the show where we take some ideas and we crunch them, we dissect them, we use them to help tune our business brains each and every time we get together, which is usually twice a week. Our sponsor for this episode is Vanta.com/brain. Vanta automates your compliance for your ISO 27001, your SOC 2, your GDPR, and you can save $1,000 at Vanta.com/brain. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. For now, here in Durham, New Hampshire, I'm Dave Hamilton.
And I'm still out here in Northern California. We had a tornado out here over the weekend. It's kind of crazy.
Amazing. Really?
Yeah. Flipped cars over and
serious?
serious stuff. Yeah. It was crazy. About an hour from me. It's down near Santa Cruz, which you probably been in Scotts Valley. I thought that was pretty wild. Yeah. Pretty crazy.
Wow.
Neither here nor there, but it's kind of interesting.
No, tornadoes. When we lived in Texas, we saw a couple of them. We were there about 6 years. Saw a couple of them. But we moved there in April, and when we moved into our house, the only thing that we brought a TV with us. And the only reason I brought a TV in the car and not put it in the moving van was because I knew we were going to get cable hooked up like the day after we moved in or the day after we arrived. And I knew that the moving van, and also I figured, well, we're going to be sleeping on the floor in sleeping bags until our stuff gets here. Might not be a bad idea to have a TV.
True.
And so there we are laying on the floor of our living room in sleeping bags and our TV with cable, and watching tornado warnings scroll across the bottom
welcome
every
to Texas.
Single night. Yeah, and we didn't know that this was just like, you'll
normal.
get used to this, buddy. But but there were a couple, and the sky changed color, as anybody who's seen a tornado knows. Like, I remember driving once and seeing the sky in front of me change color. I was heading to an appointment, and I was like, yeah, I'm turning around. Home is behind me. That's a weird...
Texas weather is crazy.
I've never seen that color in nature before, and I'd rather see it in the rearview mirror. Yep.
I've had to pull over with the hail and get under an underpass because it was like so bad one day. I'd never seen it. It's like my car was being pummeled with rocks. I'd never seen it before. It was nuts. It was crazy.
It's not common for you to have these out in California,
no,
right?
No, first ever. First ever tornado warning that I've ever seen. We had in the last 2 weeks, we've had a tsunami warning and a tornado warning.
I knew.
Yeah, tsunami didn't go anywhere, but they have it automatic. If the earthquake happens off the coast, it does it. But I guess it was a different kind of earthquake. But the tornado definitely happened. But
hey,
this is not
I got a question for you.
Yes.
Do we all still need business cards with our businesses?
I have. So I love business cards, but my take on it is you should design them to be like multi-purpose, like a calling card that's a little different than just a business card.
Tell. And I asked this question, and I want to know. I want to hear your thoughts, because I don't have business cards for this podcast. We've never done them. But I also
There's my
don't
card
have
right there. I'm holding it up for those of you listening in your car.
We're going to describe that in a minute.
Yes.
But I also don't have business cards for GigGab, and I am heading in January to a trade show for GigGab.
That's perfect.
But I want to hear about this calling card versus business card thing.
Yeah, I think the traditional business card, you have your phone number, name, all that kind of stuff. But I think the calling card or I don't know if that encompasses everything I'm going to say, but the way I use the cards is any different way. If you go to a trade show, you're promoting your show, your podcast, whatever, you're handing that out. It needs to be designed in such a way that it really is useful and adds value to people. Not just, here's my info and this is my name, whatever. Right. They just throw that stuff away. Got to be a reason to keep it. And I love cards, making this calling card, something you can throw in a box, something you can send in as a in part of a thank you card, something you can include in a gift. If you're sending this time of year, you're sending out company gifts or whatever, I put my card in every single one. So I design like mine that I just held up. Mine is a little square. It's not a normal. It actually is designed not to really fit in your wallet, right? Or because who carries a card around like that anymore? That's from a bygone era, right?
Well,
and then,
okay.
I think that's my take.
I have an answer for your question. But,
Perfect.
But it's probably an exception. So
Yep. And then on the back of the card, I don't think it's so tiny you can't see it. But
doesn't matter. Most people won't be seeing it.
Yes, that's
they're
right.
listening.
That's right. Don't pull over and you can watch this.
It's a square card that you've got, not a rectangular card.
Yeah, and it is a little bigger. Like this is a normal business card. You see, it's bigger. So if you see that, and so I like that.
So it's bigger. It's taller than a normal business card by about 30%. Yeah, and it is also that same width. It's square.
Correct. It will fit in a wallet or purse, that kind of thing. But it's kind of made to stand out. And my whole thing is, I use it for just communication. It's like, here's how to find me. Here's how, and I don't have anything on it. It just says founder. Okay, that's it. It's vague. But when I want to connect with someone that I'm in person, I want them to remember something, and it's bright yellow and it's gray and it's I like the design. And I love that design language, those colors. I use them all over the place. So I like that idea. I like handing them out to, it's whatever. So my answer is I go in the yes column that we still need them.
Yeah.
Yep.
I go in the yes column as well, but the only time that I hand out business cards is at conferences or trade shows.
Okay.
It's rare that I do otherwise. And when I do, it serves several purposes. So I actually have some, I don't know why, I have a stack of Mac Geek Gab cards here in my studio. This is not something that one would ever need, like in this room. I never would need to give a business card in this room. Why I have like 100 of them here, it's beyond me. But I still have them as very standard business cards. And these have my contact information and also have my shipping address on them.
Oh, I like that.
Well, because when I go to conferences, a lot, not everybody, but a lot of the people that I meet with are vendors with products that I'm interested in that they want to ship to me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
Right. And I know a lot of people, like when we had Mac Observer, people were like, well, I don't want to put my address on my business card. And it's like, I get that. Like, I understand privacy. I'm a freak about that stuff. However, from a convenience standpoint, this changes everything for me because I don't have to oh no, did you spell that? And make sure it's New Hampshire, not North Carolina, because there's a Durham there too. And so the business cards, I often, even if I'm meeting with someone that I already know, I will often offer them a business card. And I make a joke about it. I'm like, you want me to give you one of these? I already have everything on there memorized, right? Like, I don't need it. I already have everything because it's true, right? Like, I know my address and all that stuff. But I give it to people, and I will often even say, just to remind you that we met here.
That's really good. I like that.
I do the same thing because I'll get a stack of cards and I'll go back to my hotel room or on the plane or the train home or whatever, and I will log every one of those cards. Hopefully the night of whatever event it was that I met people at, because I still have a fresh memory. I take notes in my notes app too, but I still have a fresh memory about, oh yeah, we met, we talked about this thing, and I log those notes in my thing. And if there's a follow-up, I do that right there. So I'm not waiting 3 weeks to do a follow-up on something from a trade show. So,
that's nice.
Yeah, I think they're valuable. I think they're useful.
I do too.
And I'm going to have them made up for GigGab too.
Yeah, I have a couple of other ways I've used them. One thing I would say is if you're going to get them, get a good quality card that feels good in your hand. And that's subjective. It could be a thick paper that feels good. Mine is kind of a glossy or matte finish, but it feels silky.
I always say they got to have a little bit of a thwack.
Oh, I like that.
That's my card making
I
that
like
noise.
that. That's good.
They got to have a little thwack.
Yeah. We have, as I've mentioned on the show before, we own vacation rentals. And so at each vacation rental, we have cards for the other vacation rentals that we also own. So there's a picture of the other house, and on the back there's the logo, and there's the link. Here's how you can book our other properties. So we have a little rack of these cards, and at each house you have the different ones, as well as the house you're staying at. And we find people take them all the time, and they'll say, "Oh, a friend of mine gave me this card. They stayed at your house." So that works great. The other way I love doing them is make them a coupon card to toss in a box to give people, if you're shipping orders. I'm a reseller. I've always shipped everything every day. Toss them in the box. They have a 20% off, whatever. People hang on to those cards. And the last way we've done it is when I've had salespeople visiting physical locations. One of the things we always tell them to do is get up and ask to use the restroom. And when you go to the restroom, either walk by the break room, and we have the cards, but they're a magnet, and you go and stick your card on the refrigerator. And then you go to the bathroom, and it's just always a way. You've left it, and the magnet stays on that fridge. And the guy's like, I went back like a year later, and it was still there. I'm like, of course it's still there. That they just leave it there. So being creative, it's like everything else. Be creative with it. Make them stand out a little different. And I think cards are definitely valuable.
Hey, I want to take a second and tell you something. If you're out there grinding, building your business, and dreaming of landing those big customers, security compliance isn't just a buzzword. It can be your golden ticket. But here's the rub. Getting your SOC 2 or your ISO 27001 certifications, it's like trying to wrestle a bear in a tuxedo. That's where our sponsor Vanta comes in. Vanta automates the manual, soul-sucking security tasks that slow you down so you can focus on building and shipping. Think of it as your compliance co-pilot, helping you get audit ready fast while still living that charmed life we all aim for. Vanta connects you to VCISOs, auditors, and even pen testers, all the essentials to make compliance easy. Join over 8,000 companies that trust Vanta, from scrappy startups to growth powerhouses and everything in between. Simplify your compliance and get $1,000 off at vanta.com/brain. That's VANTA.com/brain. Stop wrestling bears. Start closing deals. Vanta.com/brain for $1,000 off. And our thanks to Vanta for sponsoring this episode. I joke that I use ChatGPT to write my ad scripts so that I can keep them fresh.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a joke. I mean, it's true. I do that, and I tell it to add something in that's like a little bit of an Easter egg so that we can kind of all listen and find out what ChatGPT is going to make me say. I have no recollection of saying, "Stop wrestling bears." And yet I know that I said it because I recorded that ad spot an hour before we did the show. So
that's funny.
Yeah.
That's cool. I want to talk about one of my favorite topics.
What's that?
That's action.
Oh, I love action.
Yeah, me too. We always talk about, but in the context of, we're getting towards the end of the year, and I've been on a few calls today and yesterday, and I've heard this on almost every call. Well, we're getting ready to do this next year. It's after the new year. After the new year.
No.
And I try to stop people and say, "What? Why wait? Today's the 17th. You've got, days and days and days, and then you've got time in between the holiday and everything else. And if you're going away or whatever, I get it, but."
Even if you are going away, think about, is that a good reason to delay taking whatever action you're about to delay? Yeah. It might be, but ask yourself that question. It's so funny you brought this up. I did this to myself yesterday.
Oh, I've done it too.
Yeah, I was like, well, I can wait until tomorrow to do this. That's fine. I was like, no, just do it now. It's going to take 10 minutes to start this process here. And who knows what dividends it'll pay by doing it now as opposed to tomorrow. Or am I going to be derailed tomorrow because I got a doctor's appointment in the morning, and do it now. Yeah,
do it now. It is, I just run up against it over and over and over. Stop planning and just do something. And that doesn't mean be reckless, but get something to move you forward. It could be this next thing that's part of your plan or whatever, but stop revising your plan and don't wait until January, right? Start now, start on the 18th, tomorrow night, and I often say on these coaching calls, I'm like, hey, your new hobby is making money, not watching Netflix or chilling out, tonight in the couch, or if you're going to chill on the couch, it's great, but have your laptop in front of you and you're researching things because this is how you're going to do this, and over and over. So
I find,
don't delay.
It's funny. You correctly have said to me and anybody who will listen to you for years, if you're looking for extra time to build a business, your first question that you ask somebody is, do you watch TV at night? And I love that question because we all know where it's
I watch
going.
TV, of course.
I just found 3 hours for you every single day. Like, it just Monday through Friday. I got
it's low-hanging fruit. Yeah, it's low-hanging fruit.
Right, it's low-hanging fruit. I do often, not every night, but I often will watch TV at night, and my laptop is next to me. The Apple M series laptops are the first where I actually use it on my lap on the couch. It doesn't get hot.
Doesn't get hot, yeah.
Yeah. So it's relatively recently, last 5 to 10 years, that I've been actually having a laptop on the couch. I mean, I would always have one around, but I use it a whole lot more. And what I find, though, is that watching TV time with my laptop right there, I'll do something. I'll, have some idea or whatever and do something, or have something that I know I need to do, and I'll do it. And then I'll fold up my laptop and kind of put it down next to me.
Yeah.
And that time of watching TV, that's what I call it brain percolation time, right?
I like
where
it.
There's stuff happening in the background, kind of like driving or showering, or certainly any like actively meditating or anything like that. But it's that meditative time where my brain just kind of gets to percolate, and every now and then something bubbles up. It's like, oh, yes, right. And I grab my laptop and I do the thing, or at least log a to-do, or even just do it, to our point here. But like, that TV time is something that I have learned how to make valuable, but it's because I have this bias towards action.
Yeah, you got to be intentional about it.
Right now.
Yeah. The idea of me going downstairs to hang out for a couple hours and watch something in the evening, that's great. Relax, chill out. But the idea of me walking down there without my computer, no. I just can't even do it. I'll be like, oh, I got to go get my thing. Because to your point, sometimes ideas or action items, things you need to do, they come at you kind of sideways, right? Mm-hmm. And you can do this with your phone too, if you're, and I do it with my phone as well, of course. But being able to research and look for things, and you just never know where this stuff comes from. So, if otherwise, cut it out. Just don't watch that stuff and get to work and work at night. And we've talked on the show a bunch of times about companies we've started at night. And I've got
most of them. Most of
exactly.
them.
Exactly.
That's when you start a company, is at night.
Yes.
When you're not doing the other companies that you have, or your day job, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I don't even. This is a moment of privileged, charmed life. I have a computer here in the studio. It's a Mac studio. That's fine. I have a computer downstairs in my office. It's a Mac Mini. It's fine. And then I have my M2 laptop. And that, unless I'm traveling, the couch is where that computer lives.
Yeah,
so I don't bring my computer to the couch. I go to the couch, and there's my computer charging from the night before.
It's perfect. Yeah, that's
it's
perfect.
Great. Yeah.
And there, if you want to really, if you want to live an uncommon life, if you want to have, build wealth and have freedom and flexibility, being an entrepreneur, yes, it's brutal sometimes. It's like chewing glass, but a lot of times it's not.
Sometimes.
Yes, it totally sucks. But if you want sometimes. Sometimes. If you want to build that, you have to do uncommon things. And almost every night, after dinner, I walk back up to my office because I'm like, well, unless I have something else going on, it's like I can get another hour and a half in and get some stuff done. I write a lot. I plan my next day. I look at my calendar schedule, and I love it. I really enjoy it, and I feel, privileged or whatever, blessed
sure.
that I get an opportunity to do that. And I didn't do that when I had little kids because you were involved with them.
Right.
But now it's like, okay, I've got some time. I can, you have to carve out that time, especially if you're, you want to create a side hustle, you want to do something different, but it's action, consistent every single day. You should be able to check something off. It doesn't have to be huge. It could be a small thing. I researched this. I made this. I wrote this. I wrote one page. Every person, every client I talk to, I am like, hey, I encourage you to write one page a day. And I talked about it last week, I think. You write about anything you want. There's only one rule. You have to share it with someone. And so, that's it. And it just kind of keeps you accountable. And you tell people, I'm going to write one page a day. You can share it with anybody. And share it online. I don't care. Share it with your spouse or whatever. But that's action. And it's like, you get your gears going. You get your motor running.
Yes.
And that's a lot of it is not the fact of what you achieve. It's your achieving. And you get used to achieving, and that's the road to success.
That's the trick is, yes, just making sure you're doing something and inching forward every day. Yep. Yeah.
You got it. Yeah,
absolutely.
Cool. So, if you have tips on keeping focused and action, let us know. Feedback at businessbrain.show. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to have a review. If 5 people out of the thousands are going to listen to this episode left us a review, it would be an amazing Christmas present for Dave and I.
Businessbrain.show/review. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thank you in advance for reviewing the show. We love it. We love it. Keep living that charmed life. We'll see you on Friday.
See ya.
And we're out. I knew exactly where the problem was.
Okay.
I don't know why I didn't think about it before.
All right. Yeah, now you sound, regular.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah. And you know what? That meant we didn't test the ads, because if we had tested the ads, we would have heard the balance difference.
Yeah,
and I don't know why I didn't think of that being the differentiator.
Yeah, because once the ad hit, then I was like, boom. So no, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
There it is. Okay.
Awesome. All right. Let me answer a question here.
Let me do this. I will change the thing to being between the episodes here as I sort of process the cue for this one. Sorry, I was so low during that last.
That's okay. Yeah, it happens.
Oh yeah, that's part of the deal.
Yeah.
It just sucks for the for when Sadie chops things up. She uses the video.
I see. Yeah.
That's where it gets.
Yeah.
That's where
right.
That's where it's a bummer. Where is this Business Brain chapters? That. What's that? Business Brain. Yeah, there you go. Okay, we don't need that. We do need that. That was almost 3 topics. I like it.
We kind of rolled into that, right? Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it was good. It's good.
Okay.
Getting ready to. So if you're listening now, we're getting ready to record our second episode for the week. We released this on Friday. Man, I just lost the auction for 2 brand new Jurassic Park pinball machines. But that's
Are those like Stern pinball machines?
Yeah, Stern. Yeah. But it went above my number, and I buy based on math, not emotion.
That's smart.
Oh yes, because I would have bought these. Because
my guess is you learned that the hard way.
Oh yes, yes, absolutely. I constantly have to remind myself, no emotion. It's all math.
It's all just math. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So if you're joining us, we're getting ready to record our second. We're in between Dave's twirling knobs and pressing buttons, getting the first episode ready for us to post-produce, which doesn't take that long, because that first episode comes out tomorrow. And now in a moment, we're going to record this second episode. Awesome. All right. That's cool. I'll be curious to see how next week looks. I see more and more people headed out of town type thing. And
yes,
for the holidays. So it's kind of interesting.
Well, Christmas falls on Christmas falls on a Wednesday, which is the wrong day.
Yes,
yeah,
it is.
We had the leap year on the wrong year. because we
that's right.
jumped the wrong way. We should always have a
was
leap year
Monday.
to jump over Wednesday.
Ah, yes, because if it's Thursday, you just take Thursday and Friday off.
Right.
Yeah.
You just go Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and
Yeah.
do the Christmas circle that way.
would be good.
But also this year, I'm pretty sure Hanukkah also starts on December 25th. So that's
unusual. Yeah.
yeah,
Interesting.
yeah, it's atypical for it to be that late.
Yeah. That is cool. Let's see.
All right. That
Got it.
is
Got
done.
that.
Let's see. This is
Awesome.
done. There's that.
I'm going to put this in my
There's
group. I'm sure somebody in my subscribers on X bought those pinballs, and I'm going to go ask them right now. Who bought these? Who bought these? Okay. Which one of you?
I'm gonna meet with
outbid
the
me?
Stern Pinball people.
You are?
I've known them for a long time.
That's
because
cool.
they're always they live in kind of the tech world. They're
they
always
do?
at CES and things like that. Yeah. So
That's
I get to they say they have a new machine
Coming out.
debuting at CES. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, they're all
I
high
don't know
tech.
what it is.
I love pinballs. I have no reason to like pinball machines, but I do like them. I had a Party Zone, which is a crazy ramps, all this kind of stuff, and I had it for like 20 years, and I actually sold it back. I sold it to an employee, the guy who recommended that I buy it, and we've kept in touch all these years. And when I wanted to sell it, I wasn't using it anymore. I said, "Hey, do you want to buy this thing?" And he bought it.
That's awesome.
Cool. Yeah, it came full circle. I was really happy.
I have to look here because this stuff is important to us. Wow, they really did it. My soon-to-be son-in-law's team. He plays pro hockey.
Oh, yeah.
They live in Italy, and he plays pro hockey in the Alps League. They just they are not ranked very well. They just had a coaching change, a kind of a unceremonious sort of ousting of the prior
Unplanned.
coach.
Yeah,
Yes, unplanned. Yeah, that's right. But they just beat the top team in their league. They beat them 4-2.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's big. That's big
That's
in
a-
hockey.
yeah. It was 3-2. Oh, and then they got a power play goal right before the end of the game. Huh? So it wasn't even an empty netter. It was
Nice.
they earned it. That's
Awesome.
great. Yeah, I love that.
All right.
All right.
So
Go
we are talking
HC Murano.
about-
Yeah, I'm ready to rock whenever.
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Okay. Then let's do it. Here goes nothing.
Let's do it.
Business Brain, episode 609 for casual Friday, December 20th, Ugly Christmas Sweater Day 2024. Greetings, folks, and welcome to Business Brain, the show where we take some ideas, we take some of your ideas, some of our ideas, we crunch them, we dissect them, we analyze them so that we can each keep on living or start living those charmed lives that we love. Our sponsor for this episode is Vanta.com/brain. That's where you can go to get $1,000 savings. Vanta automates your compliance for ISO 27001, SOC 2, GDPR. We'll talk more about those things in a little bit. For now, here in Durham, New Hampshire, I'm Dave Hamilton.
And I'm out here in the Bay Area. I'm Shannon Jean. Well, I see these Vanta billboards, and I love their tagline says, "So compliance doesn't have to SOC 2." And I thought that
that's
was
clever.
really good. It's something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing.
No, that makes
but
sense. That
it's on
fits.
the way to the SFO. I've seen all the time. Like, hey, those guys sponsor us. That's cool.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I was playing
go
with ChatGPT this week, Shannon.
Oh, you were?
Yes. Well,
Yes.
I say playing with it. I'm using it constantly. And
Same.
most of the time, especially driving home from like gigs or late rehearsals or whatever in the car, I have conversations with ChatGPT.
That's a huge game changer, man. If you're not
It
doing
is.
that, it's incredible.
And if I can't think of what to ask, like if I don't have something pressing, I just sort of roll with it. The other day, I said to it, I said, hey, I drive a 2018 Subaru Outback Touring Edition. Tell me the top 3 features that most owners don't even know exist.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Right?
I like
that was it. And only Only one of them was a hallucination. I'm guessing it was probably something in a later model year or whatever, but the other two were like, oh, holy crap, I didn't know I could do that.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yep. I was doing some tech support for myself stuff with ChatGPT, and which is an awesome use case of it. It's not always right, of course, but with tech support, that's okay because you try something and you know whether it worked or not.
Sure.
But I was getting these log messages, and they were just appearing on my screen in a way that I couldn't really copy paste them as text. And so at first I was typing in what the log message was saying. I was like, this is stupid. I took a screenshot of it and pasted the screenshot right into ChatGPT, and it parsed the screenshot and said, oh, yeah, here's what the logs are saying, and
That's
did its
great.
thing. And so, like, try
Good use
these
case.
things.
Yeah.
And screenshots work. It knows how to do the optical character recognition on that stuff, and it's great. I love it.
It is amazing. That the voice, that being able to discuss topics, and a big part of it that I love is as I'm having the conversation, it's saving that conversation for me. The next time I go online and I'm in on the app, or I'm on the web in ChatGPT, it's everything we discussed is right there. And
one thing that the voice mode can't do, and I'm still trying to figure out why this is a limitation, but it definitely is, and it will tell you that it's a limitation. The text mode now, I can ask it, hey, search online for me and look for X. If I want something current, the voice mode,
can't do that.
Its database is fixed as of October 2023 at the moment. It'll keep getting updated, but it won't do live searching. And I'm not sure why that is, but I'm sure there's a reason, and it just is what it is. But that's the only limitation of it, because we were driving home from a concert and I wanted to know something the other night, and my wife and I were talking, and I'm like, well, let's just ask ChatGPT. I have it. The new iPhones have the action button.
Oh yeah, you have that.
So I just have I have the action button. Actually, I have I need to flesh out the script. Right now, it is just the action button. But what I want to do is have it only do that if I'm in CarPlay mode. Which you can do with scripts and shortcuts and stuff.
Because the ChatGPT icon is not part of the CarPlay.
No,
screen.
I don't know why. Well, my guess is Apple asked them not to make it part of CarPlay, because otherwise they definitely would have. So.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
So now with Siri
anyway.
integrating ChatGPT, maybe you'll be able to, I don't know.
It
so
sucks.
Far, yeah.
It sucks. The Siri ChatGPT integration, well, it's fine if you haven't used ChatGPT directly. And then it's like, oh, this is what a disaster. Why do I have to jump through all these hoops? Yeah.
That is amazing. Yeah, that is crazy.
So
fascinating.
Also on the AI front, Shannon, Grammarly.
Yeah.
Grammarly acquired Coda. If you don't know what Coda is, it's one of these all-in-one sort of. It's like Notion, which has been a sponsor for us for a long time.
That's right.
It's one of these kind of all-in-one platforms where you can sort of organize a project or your life and have all kinds of different things, and it's got links to or hooks for external stuff. And very, very AI leveraged in terms of what Coda's doing.
Grammarly acquired them, or they were.
Grammarly acquired them, and Grammarly's also AI leveraged. I love it. Yeah, we use the term AI. Really, we're talking about machine learning, which is something Grammarly's been doing for a very long time. It all makes sense.
I recommend. Grammarly freed me to focus on my writing, not my. Grammar, and not my spelling, and that and that kind of stuff. And it's not 100% like most machine learning AI stuff, but it's it's probably close to 80% to where I get to decide. But I have and I've used it for I think since 2019. It's scanned over 10 million words that I've written.
Oh, nice.
I get the email every week. It says how they rate you against other Grammarly users, which I really like. And it's like, you wrote more than 98% of other and I write so much. I'm always like, great. And then if I see it dropping like 92%, I'm like, man, I gotta create some more content, and stuff. So, but I also use it a lot to go back over my old stuff I've written and to go through and clean, it's like, oh wow, that's horrible. But it's a game changer. And I have the paid version, and it's probably one of the best things I pay for. Yes, it has annoying things like everything else.
Sure.
And people often point that out to me when I mention Grammarly, but it's definitely changed my life.
Hey, I want to take a second and tell you something. If you're out there grinding, building your business, and dreaming of landing those big customers, security compliance isn't just a buzzword. It can be your golden ticket. But here's the rub. Getting your SOC 2 or your ISO 27001 certifications, it's like trying to wrestle a bear in a tuxedo. That's where our sponsor Vanta comes in. Vanta automates the manual, soul-sucking security tasks that slow you down so you can focus on building and shipping. Think of it as your compliance co-pilot, helping you get audit ready fast while still living that charmed life we all aim for. Vanta connects you to VCISOs, auditors, and even pen testers, all the essentials to make compliance easy. Join over 8,000 companies that trust Vanta, from scrappy startups to growth powerhouses and everything in between. Simplify your compliance and get $1,000 off at vanta.com/brain. That's VANTA.com/brain. Stop wrestling bears. Start closing deals. Vanta.com/brain for $1,000 off. And our thanks to Vanta for sponsoring this episode. All right, Shannon. Let's talk about breaking some rules.
Yeah, I really want to. I talk to a lot of people, and I often hear this. I don't want to say they're excuses, but they're guardrails, let's say. And I don't believe in rules are guardrails. They want to keep a certain section of people within the parameters of this is what you can do and this is what you can't do, or this is what's acceptable and this is not acceptable. Right. And so I often remind people about this concept of it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. I don't want you to do anything that's illegal, of course, that would hurt anyone, of course. But so many rules, most, maybe all, rules are created by people that have never created something from nothing. Okay? And that concept...
Or rules are created by people who have created something from nothing and want to stop others from doing it.
Yes. That's a good take on it as well, because they want to create a moat around to protect what they've done. And if you look at big companies, they do this, right? All this, I don't know, I'll beat up on the car dealership lobby now, right? You can't buy a car direct because that's illegal, in this state. Tesla can't sell direct in this state because it's illegal. Well, it's only illegal because the car dealership lobby got together and got their, congressmen and assembly members or whatever to vote to protect their business from other people. And that's not right. But mainly what I'm talking about is things that in your head keep you from getting going and stop you from, whether it's, well, I couldn't get the resale permit because I don't have this thing, or I don't have this form, or that, and it's like, well, what do you mean? You don't have a company name? Just make one up.
Go get one.
Just make it up. They don't care. Nobody cares. Just call it whatever you want. Shannon's business. Okay, whatever. If you're not creative, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Most of this stuff doesn't matter. And it's the same like with accountants. I always ask my accountant, okay, can we do this? And the accountants often first answer is no.
They're supposed to be that way. You pay. I always say I want a lawyer and an accountant that are slightly more risk averse than I am.
Yeah.
I don't want somebody that's so far over the line that I can't work with them.
Yeah, because you have to pay the price for that, right? If they screw up, they're not coming for them typically, it's you.
Right.
Especially accountants. So but when they say no, I always ask, well, what's the risk? Is it hey, if this gets, write-off or expense or depreciation gets disqualified, you're going to have to pay some backup interest and maybe a small fine. Yeah. Okay, well, maybe that's worth taking the risk. But if they say, well, if you do this, you go to prison, I'm not taking that one.
Great. Thanks for letting me know.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's why I pay you. But think of rules. I often say that reality is flexible, right? You get to make your own reality.
So I have to ask a question about that, because in a recent episode, I put this on our list to talk about. This quote, reality is flexible. You attributed it to your mom. Is that where you got it from?
She taught me that when I was a little kid.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah. And it was little things like, I can remember being in the backseat of my parents' car. They took me to see the first Star Wars movie.
Okay.
And they asked me, what do you think the Force is? And I'll never forget. I was like, I go, it seemed to me like the Force is confidence, and just having confidence in yourself that you could do anything like that. And instead of saying, no, it's some magical thing or whatever, they were like, you're right. And that was one of the first times I realized, as I got older, I look back on that and it's like, they were teaching me that reality is flexible. That confidence that I had, that you could, your parents, great parents tell their kids you can do anything, right? And it's all up to you and this kind of stuff. And it's rules. I've been a rule breaker my entire life. Yes. Has it got me in trouble? Yes. Has it cost me money sometimes? Absolutely.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Absolutely. But it's also...
And will it cost me money again?
Yes.
Unfortunately, yes. But let me knock on wood just in case I can avoid that. Yeah.
That's right. I don't have any wood around me. I'm in tech center. But it's... Don't let the rules stop you. Those rules... I don't want to say that the rules don't apply to you, because they do apply to all of us, but so many of them, there's ways to overcome those rules or meander by quietly, let's say.
Well, I always say, when I talk about the tax code is a great opportunity to illustrate this, I always say, not my rules, right? But what I mean by that, or usually what leads to the conversation that leads to me saying that, is I'll tell somebody how I'm doing something with taxes, and they're like, oh, that doesn't seem right. I'm like, hey, not my rules. I didn't make these rules up. It's up to me to find my path through them. Yes. So leveraging the rules to your advantage. No one says that the rules have to be used for the reasons that the creators put them in place. You can look at the rule for what it is, not what it was intended to be, but what it is. And okay, great. That there is a hurdle or even just a brick wall there. Fine. Can we tunnel under it? Can we go around it? What does this look like? I get that it's to stop me from doing the one thing I want to do, but that's not how it's written. Yep. It's written to stop this one version of this. What's a second version of this? I don't know. Right.
I'm often amazed at the tax stuff when you talk like, oh, you just did this? Well, you can do this and do it. I'm like, what? Really? Is that real? Yeah, look at this. It says it this way. So one of the reasons why very wealthy people, keep their wealth and find ways around paying massive amounts of taxes is they hire people that help them
experts
get through these things. And you know what? We're all able to take advantage of those situations at various levels. And especially if your gut instinct telling you it's some BS rule, I'm telling you, man, you got to challenge it at least and do a little research and ask other people, how do you do this? How do you get around it? I see it all the time. There's a vast dichotomy in social media platforms. Like if you go in the entrepreneurial sections or business sections, like on X, it's like the Wild West. I'm doing this. We're going this. We're doing this. Okay, that's great.
Sure.
If you go on Reddit, it's very different, and people are very quick to point out, you can't do that. That.
Oh, I think that's
work.
also true on X. I think
Yeah,
it's
I guess
I think
so.
it's wherever you find yourself. Like, what's the community? The community on
see it.
X
Yeah.
tends to be the entrepreneur community on X
Yes.
tends to be very cavalier.
Yes, that's what I mean. That's what I meant.
That's not necessarily like. I don't think it's. I don't
it's not
see
platform
it specific.
based. It's just
yeah,
people. Yeah,
it's
I
just
got
that whatever
I
that.
just notice that it seems like I want to get when I'm looking at those platforms because both are really valuable. I learn a lot from each
Absolutely.
of them. You know,
Yeah.
every time I dig in there, we're talking about keeping your laptop on your together when you're watching TV late at night. Definitely looking at stuff. What's going on? Oh, I didn't know that side hustle even existed. You know, all this. I love it, and. I often just want to shake my laptop and to all the commenters that are like, that won't work. This doesn't that. It's like, hey, you're doing yourself a disservice. You know, try it, experiment. Take the Dave Hamilton 2-week experiment. Maybe it needs to be 2 months, but get out there and try it and see what happens. And don't let rules define yourself. You know, don't let anything stop in the way of being successful and creating the life you want.
Yeah.
That's my rah-rah pitch for Friday.
I like it, man. It's a good path to go into the weekend. Yep.
Yeah, great.
And
I love
you know, the
talking about
weekend
this
doesn't
stuff.
have to be what everybody says it has to be. Do whatever the heck you want.
It's another day.
It's another day, 2 more days ending in Y. Yep.
Got it.
Thanks for hanging out with us, everybody. We love that we get to be able to do this. I certainly do, and I think I can speak for you for that. Yep. And it's wonderful. Thank you for hanging out with us. Send us a note. It's the end of the year. What have you learned from this show? I know everybody, our schedules are crazy, and I know you're out there listening. We'd like to hear from you every now and then. So take some of this time and send us a note. feedback@businessbrain.show. We would love to know what you learned from us this year and what you're struggling with, what you want to learn about for next year. Let us know. We'll see you next week. Have a good weekend. Keep living that charmed life. And we're out.
Awesome.
Sweet.
That's great.
Yep.
If you watch the live stream, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Much more fun to look at the numbers and talk to you in the comments. And reach out to us at Dave Hamilton or at Shannon Jean on pretty much every platform.
Yeah, pretty much.
That you use. And we appreciate it. Have a great weekend. I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream right now. Take it easy, folks.
Sweet.
Thank you. See ya.